The last chapter I really wanted to focus on the ideas of luck and chance, right? So a lot of people will often say, when they speak about really successful people, they'll say, oh, they worked harder, they trained harder. But in a lot of these examples, if you were to just look at some fairly fundamental characteristics, like how old they were when they were born, I mean, what time of the year they were born, if they were born towards the earlier end of the year, then they're normally more privileged than those born towards the if they were born towards the earlier parts of the year, they'll be more privileged than those born towards the later part of the year generally. Where they came from, what their family was like, how much money their family had, the genetic qualities of their ancestors, of their predecessors, their close ancestors, like their mothers, their grandmothers, their fathers, their grandfathers, and so on. You can fairly easily predict the outcomes of these people in terms of success. It's a rare event where someone's success is unexpected, and we see these rags to riches stories. However, if we were to look a bit more deeply, we can see that there is rarely a rags to riches story, and when there is a rags to riches story, we can see how that happened. Hard work is a predictable quality, and the lack of hard work is also a predictable quality. It's largely at base a consequence of dice rolls, right? So the people who work hard have been given a lucky hand, and people who don't work hard have been given somewhat of an unlucky hand, right? And this relates back to the idea of hierarchies, because it's like there's this idea that the people who sit atop hierarchies deserve in some way to sit atop the hierarchy, which generally isn't true. Depending on how you would define, it depends on how you define deserve, I suppose. But this is more like extra thinking about the chapter itself. But yeah, the only really, and hierarchies in and of themselves are a negative thing, but we can't do away with them because they are endemic to existence as it stands here. However, there is a way to fix this problem, and the way in order to fix this problem is through the creation of a new reality, the creation of Varnia, that's the topic of my next book, but the creation of Varnia is a world where everybody can win. However, I'll just read out my little closing chapter here because it's probably the best summary which I'll be able to give. I say in the second last paragraph, for this reason my point is made clear. Man is incompatible with its likeness. To fix such a schism is for man to exist within a world in which all can dominate always. The world will work on a simple predicate. The hotter the battle, the sweeter the victory, with the heat and the pain being adjusted for each person so that the perception is identical, even if the Fahrenheit might be different. To use a somewhat questionable coinage, to each according to his ability, to each according to his desire. One will not simply be gifted victory, however, victory will always be attainable for one, if they are able to work for it, which all will be able to do. A world in which the means are always conducive to the desired ends, and the means are an endemic quality of man. So those are the last two paragraphs of my book. What I'm truly saying here is, this is an endemic problem and nothing's going to fix it. We can't build a political system where everyone's equal. We can't destroy capitalism. This is an endemic problem with existence, and it has always been and will always be a problem unless we construct ourselves a new world. My point of making all of these 9 books is to show that existence is a problem. The core foundational mechanisms of the way in which things work are the problem, and they are unchangeable. We have to move away from these things and create our own world, and we've done it in the past and we're doing it today. We're creating our own realities, we're creating our own worlds, and we're living more and more in these worlds. We're living more vicariously. Think about video games, a portion of people who play video games, a portion of people who watch TV. We've been doing it for ages. It's hard to even say if it's increasing or not because of the data before and what we call escapist. And this is what I talk about in my next book. This is how it all ties in together. We've always wanted to escape from the reality in which we find ourselves, and we have attempted to do this and done this well through different escapist means like TV and stuff like that through video games. However, we've also tried to make existence as it stands better, and all of our attempts to do this have in essence been in vain. We have given and we have taken. As I said, as the whole point of this book is, there cannot be progress without regress. Our attempts to fix reality as it stands are almost always in vain, and they almost always bring with them consequence and negative consequence, and we cannot say that we are progressing or regressing because we don't even know what we are aiming towards. The only way in order for us to fix these endemic problems of reality is to make a new reality. That new reality is what I call Vanya, and that is the point of the last chapter of this book. So thank you a lot for watching this book review, this 6-part small series. Hope you all enjoyed it, and when I'm done with my audiobook on The Desire to Leave, which is my second book, I will make a chapter review of those chapters in that book. So yeah, thank you a lot for watching, and I'll see you when I make the next review.